Welcome back to another Feedback Friday. Today we get to hear from Mary Kate from the UK. She recently graduated from her Harp Beginnings program and has made a lot of great progress, and she has sent in a video to get some general feedback on her playing and just make sure that she's on the right track. So I'm going to be sharing her video and offering some encouragement and tips that will hopefully help her and maybe you too take your playing to the next level. Let's go ahead and watch her play. Well done, Mary Kate. It's so exciting to think back to where you started and how much your playing has transformed. So really great job. So let's start with something that we worked on during our weekly progress calls, which was your seated position at your harp. I know we spent some time trying to find a more comfortable and supportive way for you to sit at your harp. And based on what I'm seeing, it looks like you've really nailed it. It seems like your harp is sitting at the right height that's really supporting your hand position. And I see you've got a nice cushion under it. I think if you're able to get a stand for your harp at some point, that would be ideal just to add a lot more stability, and that will allow you to maybe take your harp and play somewhere if you want. But I also understand sometimes, especially in the early stages, you got to make use of what you have. So I think you've done a great job of getting creative and finding a way to get your harp really comfortable. The one thing that I would suggest here is maybe angling your harp a little bit more to the left. So if you take the column and just move it slightly, what I'm seeing right now is that as you're playing, you're tilting your head a little bit to see the strings. So I just want to make sure you don't cause any pain over time in your neck. So just take the column of your harp, move it a little bit to the left. That way, when you look straight ahead with your head aligned on your shoulders, you shouldn't have to tilt your head at all to see the strings. So when it comes to your hand position, it is looking really lovely. You look like you're very relaxed as you're playing. I just have a few small tweaks I wanted to suggest. The first thing is making sure that your thumbs are a little bit higher. So when it comes to your thumbs, try keeping them a little bit higher. This is going to help keep your hand more open and relaxed as you're playing. It'll give your thumb more room to close as well, compared to if your thumb is lower. That limits its mobility a little bit. So think of keeping your thumbs a little bit higher. Then I also wanted to talk about placing groups of notes together, or what we call bracketing. So your left hand is doing a really nice job of placing that set of 3 notes all at the same time, but this could be improved with your right hand. So what I'm noticing in your right hand is that you are placing often just one finger at a time like this. But what we want to practice is placing that set of 3 notes all at the same time. This is really going to smooth out any hesitations and make it sound a lot more fluent. So just to demonstrate, instead of this, where you kind of have to really think about where every single finger needs to go, what we want to see is all those groups placed at the same time. And place. So it's really just one movement you have to worry about. So if you can practice placing those shapes all at the same time. So for the first notes of Mahogany Moon, in right hand, we have 3, 2, 1 on A, B, and C. Just have your fingers placed on those strings and come away and see if you can land right where you started. With good hand position, of course. We just want to memorize what that shape feels like, so it's really automatic, that we don't have any hesitation landing on those strings. So as you're playing through Mahogany Moon, maybe you can watch back the video that you sent in and make a mental note or make a note in your music of where you are placing one finger at a time, because it happens pretty frequently in right hand. So measure by measure, just practice placing groups of notes all together and place. So just practice placing those groups of notes, and that's really going to make your playing a lot more efficient and smooth. So I'm going to give you an exercise to practice that in just a moment, but another thing I wanted to mention is that I would love to see you pressing into the strings even more. Right now you're playing very lightly, very gently, but I would love to see you pressing in enough that you can see those strings move. Can you hear how it just warms up the tone? It also gives you a lot more control as you're playing. So that's something to definitely focus on. So just to summarize what we just spoke about, my 3 tips were: number 1, keeping your thumbs higher. Number 2 is making sure that you're placing groups of notes together whenever you see brackets in the music. And the third thing is making sure that you're really pressing into the strings as you play. All right, so here's a really simple exercise that you can practice to work on the things we talked about, like keeping your thumbs high, placing groups of notes together, and really pressing into the strings. So you can practice this in Mahogany Moon, but sometimes it's nice to just get a simple exercise where you really don't have to worry about the notes and fingering too much. It just allows you to really focus on the skill you're trying to improve. So what I would suggest is first just work on placing groups of notes together. If I were to choose one out of the 3 things we talked about, that would probably be the biggest thing I want you to work on. So let's place 3, 2, 1 in both hands on C, E, and G. Doesn't matter which octave. I'm starting with left hand on middle C, E, and G, and right hand an octave higher with 3, 2, 1 on C, E, G. And make sure you can place all 3 fingers in each hand together. Okay. And if you can think about keeping your thumbs high as well, and then go ahead and play those 3 notes in the left hand, then right. Then we're gonna move up a note. Make sure you can place all 3 fingers together in each hand. Same thing. You can do it even slower if you want. Then move up a note and place all 3 fingers together in each hand. So you get the idea. Just keep going up your harp until you run out of strings. Okay, and I know there's a pattern in Mahogany Moon like this. So let's try an exercise going down the harp as well. So place 1, 2, and 3 in right hand on C, A, and F. Again, it doesn't matter which octave you're starting in. I'm starting on the 2nd C above middle C, and then left hand is placed an octave lower on C, A, and F. So make sure you're placed with all 3 fingers in each hand. Keeping your thumbs high, place all 3 notes together. So we're just going down note by note. Again, practice placing all 3 fingers together. And you can keep going for as long as you want. So again, just a really simple exercise to put these things into practice. And then if you want to try applying these things to Mahogany Moon as well, definitely go for it and see just how different that feels. And hopefully it'll feel a lot easier in right hand. At first, it's going to take like a lot of extra effort to place those 3 notes all together, but after a while, it's going to feel a lot more smooth and efficient. Well, great job, Mary Kate. You're doing such a great job, and I'm excited to see how you continue to progress. So keep on going. I know these small adjustments can really make a big difference in your playing. And if you're watching and you'd like to get feedback on your own playing, you can check out the link in the description to submit your own feedback video. I would love to give you some feedback. And you can click here to watch me give feedback to another one of our awesome students.